Here's a recap of the Can-Am Duels that happened on Thursday. 20 drivers in each duel all made the Daytona 500. We just had to know where they had to start. So for Duel 1, this duel was dominated mostly by Chevrolets, making up most of the field. There were some scattered Fords and Toyotas. Hendrick teammates on the front row. Alex Bowman got the pole for the Daytona 500. Chase Elliott qualified third, so they would start 1 and 2. Joey Logano, he's won at Daytona before, won the Clash in 2017, and won the Coca-Cola 400 at Daytona in 2016. Kevin Harvick, the defending champion, looking to back up his title with a nice start to the season with the dual win and possibly even the Great American Race. Jimmy Johnson, he won the Daytona 500 in 2016. He's trying to be the first two-time champion of the 500. Casey Kane and Bubba Wallace in new rides for this year. Kane in the number 95 for Levine Family Racing. Bubba full-time in the 43, now in Chevy. And then Eric Jones raced the 77 last year, now in the number 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing, replacing Matt Kenseth. Danica Patrick making her final start in NASCAR in the number 7 car, so she will race the Daytona 500 for the last time. And then Michael McDowell now in the 34. He was in the 95, and now he's racing with Ford and Front Row Motorsports. So after the engines were fired up, the cars would roll off the grid, and let's take a look at your starting lineup for the first of two Can-Am duels at Daytona. In row number 1, it's the rookie Alex Bowman next to Chase Elliott in the number 9 for this year. Joey Logano next to Clint Bowyer in row number 2, and in row 3, the defending champion Kevin Harvick next to Jimmy Johnson. Casey Kane next to Darrell Wallace Jr. in row 4, and in row 5, Kyle Larson next to Trevor Bayne. Row 6, Ryan Reed back in the 16 next to Eric Jones in the 20, and row 7, A.J. Allmendinger in the 47 next to Austin Dillon. Danica Patrick in the 7 next to Chris Buescher, defending 500 champion. And then it's Daniel Suarez and Michael McDowell in row 9. And then rounding it out, Greg Galding in the 23 and Reed Sorensen in the 15. Lowe's race analysis, 60 laps, 125-mile-long race. This race will set the inside line for the 500. Pit window, 37 to 42 laps, 68 degrees, and the grip level is a 2. So the green flag would wave for the 20 cars at Daytona, but something interesting would happen on lap number 2. Alex Bowman, the leader, has the pole secured for the Daytona 500, would drop to the rear, allowing his teammate Chase Elliott to take the lead for about half a lap for Logano would take the lead. Caution would happen lap 35 for debris. The next caution would happen on lap 49 for a single car spin off turn 4. That would be Ryan Reed being pushed by Eric Jones. Spun off his bumper and spun off turn 4, was able to avoid the inside safer barrier. So Reed was able to continue after this spin. Just clipped the apron, and then Jones pushed him right around off turn 4. The 16 had a decent car in this duel, but he would have to try and come back from the back of the field. On the white flag, though, things would shift. Some guys from the back would go to the front. It was the 3 car. Austin Dillon making a move on Kevin Harvick off turn 4 and back to the checkered flag. It would be the iconic number 3 taking Duel 1. He started 14th, and he climbed his way through the field and won Duel 1. So Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, the top 3 with Jones and Bowyer in the top 5. Some of the guys in the back like Casey Kane, Ryan Reed, A.J. Allmendinger, Jimmy Johnson will have to start deep in the field for the Daytona 500. He got shuffled out with 2 laps to go. So after Duel 1, there was, of course, Duel number 2. This race would set the outside for the Daytona 500. And with 20 different cars, this duel was dominated mostly by Fords. This was the Ford-populated duel, and he had some new faces and new places. But first, let's start up at the front, where you had Brad Keselowski, the outside pole sitter for the Daytona 500. He had one bad fast car this week, and he was looking to show it in his duel race. Ryan Blaney now in the number 12, Brad Keselowski's new teammate. He would start 4th in this race. He had another fast car. All the Penske cars were fast. Paul Menard and Eric Almirola in new places. They were fast as well. Menard now in the 21 for the Wood Brothers. Almirola in the 10 for SHR. Ricky Stenhouse, he won the last time we were here in Daytona in July to get his second career win. He's a great restrictor plate racer trying to find victory lane. Landon Castle, he was in the 34 last year. He's making a one-off start this year in the number 5 car for Premium Motorsports. He looks to find victory lane. As the cars rolled off for this duel, here was the starting lineup for the second Can-Am duel at Daytona. In row 1, it's the Deuce, Brad Keselowski, next to Denny Hamlin. Last year, outside pole for 500. Here's McMurray and Blaney in row 2, and in row 3 had Rowdy Busch next to Paul Menard. Row 4, Eric Almirola and MTJ, who almost won the championship last year. Then you have Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch in row 5. Brian Scott coming back to make a start in the 44, and William Byron in row 6, and you have Ricky Stenhouse and Landon Castle in row 7. David Reagan and Corey LaJoie in the 27 in row 8. Row 9, Ty Dillon and Matt DiBenedetto. And in row 10, Cody Ware in the 25, and the 83 is Joey Gase. Lowe's race analysis, same as the first duel, except this was the outside lane being set for the Daytona 500, not the inside lane. But other than that, conditions were all the same. So the green flag would wave. Keselowski chose the outside to be with Blaney and Menard. Unlike Duel 1, this was a lot more chaotic of a duel. Lap 9 was when the wrecking festivities would begin. Cody Ware cut down a right front tire in the number 25, and he would hit the outside wall pretty hard, ending his night very early. Didn't even get 10 laps complete in this race. But they would go green for quite a while. Lap 48 was the next incident of the race. Single file and pushing has been the main thing this Speed Weeks. David Reagan might or may not have tagged the number 5. At first we thought the 38 may have turned the 5, but it was all air. You could see, watch this shot. No contact was made, so Castle spun due to air off the 38. But with 8 laps to go, tragedy would strike for Brad Keselowski. Outside pole sitter tries to block Ryan Newman and gets turned into the wall, collecting Jamie McMurray, another fast car. So that would suck for Keselowski. He would have to go to the back of the field for the Daytona 500. So from second all the way to the back for the 2, and Jamie McMurray as well, a fast car. He'll have to go to a backup for the 500. So they take the restart. 2 laps to go, though. Something interesting happened. William Byron, near the back of the pack, gets turned off the bumper of Truex, collecting Reagan, and the second wreck for Landon Castle. So we would go to overtime for this duel. A lot of good cars would go to a backup. The 24, 38, and 5 will all have to go to backups as well. So a lot of cars taken out in this duel. Already 6 taken out. And coming to the white in the finish, it was a different name than expected that a lot of people thought would win this race. Eric Almirola took Duel 2 at Daytona. He led the final 5 laps to win it over Blaney, Kyle Busch, Menard, and Stenhouse. You see the rest of the top 10, and a bunch of cars did not cross the finish line for this race. 15, in fact, 5 got taken out in this race. Well, the next race is the Great American Race on Sunday, the Daytona 500 for the NASCAR Verizon Cup Series. This is American Sports Coverage, signing off.